City Hospital, Gurgaon City. A young boy stepped out of the main gate of City Hospital. This boy was about 19 years old and soon to be 20. He was tall and lean and his face was soft. However, his tangled long hair, a white shirt full of wrinkles and torn old jeans made him look old and even poor. His shoes were also badly worn out, one of which had a broken heel. Standing at the main gate of the hospital, he took a deep breath, feeling a little nervous. Then he raised his head and saw the bright sunshine and felt relieved. He had come to this city hospital for the first time half a month ago, and this half a month felt as long as half his life. This boy's name was Vipin, who was from Nagina village in New district. Half a month ago he had tried to help a stranger on the road, but unfortunately he was beaten badly, and even stabbed with a knife. He was then admitted to the Gurgaon City Hospital. The worst part was that the stranger he had saved disappeared without telling anyone. So none of the culprits could be caught, and no one could testify that Vipin had done the right thing. The case cooled down and he had to pay the expensive medical fees. Vipin was not rich. He had lost his mother in his childhood, and his father had also passed away 7 years ago. He had no assets. Last year he had left school and started doing odd jobs around the village. He had about 10,000 rupees in savings, which was spent on treatment. This was extremely disappointing for Vipin, but there was a good thing in this bad incident. While he was lying unconscious on the hospital bed due to his severe injuries, he felt a strange warmth from the jade pendant he was wearing, which filled his mind with a priceless knowledge. He had picked up this jade pendant from the street one day and had been wearing it ever since. When Vipin tried to understand the information, he found that it was about ancient herbs and medicines made from them, and ways to increase powers like the ancient warriors. Vipin, who earlier did not believe in gods and goddesses or ghosts, now believed in them due to this mystical experience. This new knowledge and powers gave him a new hope, and also changed his perspective of looking at the world. Now he had full confidence in himself that this knowledge and powers can improve his life. As he faced the bright sun, he felt something different inside him, as if he was going to become a powerful and rich man soon. However, all his dreams were shattered the very next moment when his stomach started rumbling with hunger. He said while caressing his stomach, "If I don't eat anything, I will die of hunger. Let me eat something first." When he checked his pocket to check for money, he found only a 100-rupee note and 3 1-rupee coins. "Is this all the money I have left?" he said in despair. Vipin also had only a few thousand or 2,000 rupees left in his debit card, and this money could not last long in this era of inflation. If he did not do something to earn money, he would soon die of hunger. Vipin again looked at that 100-rupee note and helplessly moved towards a nearby shop. "Bhai Sahab, give me a packet of biscuits," Vipin said to the shop owner, who was a middle-aged man. The shopkeeper looked at Vipin, then took out a packet of biscuits and gave it to him and said, 20 rupees. Vipin was surprised. "What did you say, 20 rupees? He asked the shopkeeper. "Yes, the prices have increased," the shop owner said in a sharp voice. Vipin then gave 20 rupees to the shopkeeper without arguing much. He looked at that biscuit packet and sighed. "Inflation again! How will I survive? I have to earn some money and also improve my life." Vipin was a delivery boy before he was admitted to the hospital. He thought, "Will I still have my job after spending half a month in the hospital?" After eating biscuits, he took out his phone from his pocket and called an uncle. "Yes, Chotu, you are fine, right? And when did you get out of the hospital?" A loud voice was heard from the other side of the phone. "Yes, uncle, I am fine. Don't worry about me," Vipin told Anand uncle. "Well, it's good to hear that you are fine. Otherwise I was dying, not knowing what your condition would be. And yes, son, don't worry. I have saved your job, there is no hurry. You just stay on leave for a day or two more, take some more rest before coming to work," Anandji explained to Vipin. Hearing Anand uncle's words, Vipin took a sigh of relief and thanked him from the bottom of his heart. Anand uncle was a good and honest man. He always took good care of Vipin. "I am fine, uncle. I will come to work tomorrow," Vipin said immediately. "Son, think carefully. Do whatever you want. You don't need to worry too much. Okay, son. See you tomorrow." After saying this, Anand uncle disconnected the call. Vipin boarded the bus again. He reached Nagina village through bumpy roads. New district was surrounded by mountains on both sides. Nagina village was on the eastern edge of New district and was located near a mountain. He got off the bus and reached home after a 10-minute walk. "Vipin, you are back," a neighbor asked Vipin. Vipin shook hands with that neighbor and said thank you and headed towards his house. All the houses in this village were built by the families living there, but Vipin's house was old and dilapidated. As soon as he reached the front door of his house, a middle-aged man from the house next door Holding a bowl of rice in his hand, asked Vipin, "Vipin, you've come!" Vipin smiled and nodded. Just then another shrill voice came from inside the house. "Oh, Vipin, you're back! You must have learned a lesson after lying in the hospital for half a month. You fight like a goon at such a young age. You should be ashamed." A middle-aged woman with broad shoulders and an equally broad waist came out of the house next door, taunting Vipin. After casting a disinterested glance at Vipin, her eyebrows furrowed. "I knew you are not a good boy. You should learn something from my son Rahul. He is very obedient and intelligent. He will soon go to a big university in the city, and after getting his degree, he will become a government officer. And you? You always roam around like a brawler, fighting and quarreling." The woman's voice was shrill and loud enough to be heard from a distance. While she was speaking, some people from the village had gathered there. Vipin's face changed color. He was very angry at the woman at that moment. This middle-aged woman was his aunt. She always abused him, and she treated him like this whenever they met. "What bullying? On the contrary, I saved someone's life," Vipin explained, trying to suppress his anger. The middle-aged woman's lips tightened and she said with a crooked smile, "You? Saved someone's life?" "Yes, what a joke. I didn't know you could be so shameless and a liar. If you really saved someone's life, then where is that man and who is he?" Vipin clenched his fist tightly, as his anger had increased tenfold now. The middle-aged woman said again, "Who in this Nagina village doesn't know that you are a goon? You even fought in school, due to which you were expelled from school. I am ashamed to even call you my relative. I always felt that since you were young, you can never grow up to become a good and capable man like my Rahul. He will become a government officer by taking a degree from a good university in the city to increase the honor of his family." She looked happy as she praised her son. Vipin's fists were clenched so tightly that his nails dug into his palms. Then he took a deep breath and walked towards his house with big steps, looking at her with a strange look. "Ha! I can't believe it! Did you see how this little one looked at me?" came his hoarse voice from outside. After reaching home, Vipin went to the kitchen and cooked some simple food. After eating, he went up to the terrace. His house had 3 rooms, but Vipin loved to lie on the terrace at night and watch the stars. The sky was dark. After reaching the terrace, Vipin lay down on a cot and started looking at the stars twinkling in the dark sky. Thoughts sometimes swelled in his mind. Sometimes they got disturbed. He kept thinking for a long time about his future and what he should do. Soon he fell asleep. Vipin woke up early in the morning. He took a bath and started getting ready to go to the city, as he had to go to his job again. After taking a bath, Vipin ate something light and left for the city. He reached the city by around 10 o'clock. By around 10 o'clock, Vipin reached Anand Uncle's delivery shop. "How are you doing, Chotu? Are you feeling well?" said Anand Uncle on seeing him. Anand Uncle's full name was Anand Shukla. He was a little over 50 years old. He wore round glasses which made him look very learned. He was a teacher many years ago, but when the delivery business boomed, he left his job and entered this business. "Uncle, I am absolutely fine, by the way. Thanks for asking," said Vipin, placing his hand on his chest. "Well, it's good to hear that you are absolutely fit," said Anandji, placing his hand on his shoulder. Then pointing to the pile of packages lying beside him, he said, "Come on, now quickly get to work. There are a lot of packages to be delivered today. And yes, from today your duty will be in DLF phase." When Vipin looked at the packages, he found that there were about 50-60 packages, some of which were small and some were big. "Okay, Uncle, I will deliver all of them," Vipin said, smiling. After this, he took out his 3-wheeler electric bike and loaded all the packages properly on it. When all the packages were placed properly, he sat on the bike and left. There was a lot of traffic on the roads in the morning, and even today the roads were crowded. The sound of horns was heard continuously as the vehicles stopped and moved. Passing through this traffic, Vipin's 3-wheeler bike was moving at its full speed. After about 20 minutes, Vipin's bike stopped near DLF phase. DLF was the most developed area of Gurgaon city. There were tall buildings, malls, and beautiful parks all around. The people here were either very rich or were involved in big business. Vipin got down from his bike and scanned the packages once again. "This is a t-shirt, this is junk food." With his experience and knowledge from the delivery slip, he could guess each package at a glance. These are bedroom toys?" Vipin smiled as he picked up one of the packages. Actually, these toys were items used in the bedroom of men and women. Because the richer you become, the more your hobbies change. Vipin shook his head again and put the package back and started looking at the other packages. Then he saw a package kept in a corner. DLF Leisure Park, house number 7. Is this package for Miss Ahana? Vipin said, reading the address written on the package. He recognized this address very well. Miss Ahana's full name was Ahana Singh. She was a very rich businesswoman of Gurgaon City, and also the owner of a fashion industry. Everyone in the city knew her. Ahana Singh was fond of online shopping, and Vipin used to deliver to her house almost every 2 days. So both of them started recognizing each other well. Apart from Miss Ahana Singh, Vipin also recognized most of the other customers of DLF Leisure Park. She should still be at home at this time. Thinking this, Vipin took out his phone from his pocket and dialed a number. The call was soon connected. A lazy and sweet voice came from the other end. Hello, who is it? There was a slight hint of a yawn in her voice. It seemed as if she had just woken up. Miss Ahana, I have a delivery for you, Vipin said. Oh, it's you, Vipin. All right, come in. Ahana recognized him immediately. Then Vipin cut his call and started moving towards Ahana's house. Reaching the main gate of Leisure Park, he gave his ID to the guards and sat on his three-wheeler bike and went inside one of the richest residences in the city. All the houses here had Western-style roofs, and all the houses were built in a line one after the other. Vipin took a few turns inside Leisure Park and reached house number 7. He rang the doorbell, and after a while the door opened. Vipin's eyes widened at the woman standing in front of the door. Standing in front of him was a tall, slim, and extremely beautiful woman, who looked no less than a model. All the parts of her body were absolutely fit, and if she walked the ramp in a model show, she had every chance of becoming Miss India. Her face was very beautiful and gentle, and her eyes were like red phoenixes which were mesmerizing. She was only wearing a thin black lacy nightgown which barely covered her body, and it made her already attractive body even more attractive. Seeing Miss Ahana, Vipin's face turned red in an instant, and he quickly lowered his gaze. But Ahana did not know what Vipin was feeling, and she was yawning lazily. Seeing her yawning like this, Vipin's face turned even redder. Then he lowered his head and extended the bag towards her. Delivery for you, Miss Ahana. Ahana Singh finally noticed that Vipin was behaving a little strange today. She lowered her head and looked at what he was wearing. A slight blush spread on her pretty face. However, she was not a little girl who would get embarrassed so easily. When she saw that the boy in front of her was getting so embarrassed, she started laughing. Then Ahana took the package from Vipin's hands with a smile and started signing the delivery slip with a pen. I haven't seen you for a while, Vipin, Ahana said while signing the slip. Hey, I was in the hospital some time ago due to an injury. I was discharged yesterday only, Vipin replied. Hearing this, Miss Ahana asked worriedly, Hurt? What happened? Are you okay now? I am fine, absolutely fine, Vipin replied, holding the delivery slip as he raised his head. His gaze went down to the bottom of Ahana's nightgown. Her snow-white skin was partially hidden by the fabric, and her scent spread around him, making the atmosphere even more enticing. Let's go, Miss Ahana. I have more packages to deliver, Vipin said quickly and ran away from there, as if to escape from something. Seeing him shyly running away like this, Miss Ahana started laughing loudly. Vipin quickly sat on his three-wheeler bike and fled from there. After reaching some distance, he took a deep breath and now he felt some peace. He was only 20 years old, and it was natural for him to get excited by seeing such scenes at this age. Due to his delivery job, Vipin often had such strange incidents. He had seen people dressed in shabby clothes many times while making deliveries, so he did not feel anything strange now. But Miss Ahana was different. She was not only very beautiful but also kind, and this made Vipin like her. Though Vipin liked her as a friend, she was charming as well as a very intelligent woman. After calming down, Vipin picked up the next packet and read the information given in the slip. Leisure Park. House number 14, this is Mr. Mohan. He was a rich businessman who owned more than 10 businesses in the city. Mohan Lal was a #1 gourmet, and even his online orders consisted of all food. Vipin called Mohan Lal again and left from there. Sitting on his three-wheeler bike, he reached house number 14. The door opened as soon as he rang the doorbell. A fat and round-faced man appeared at the main door. A thick gold chain was hanging around his neck, and whenever he walked, Vipin felt the earth tremble. Vipin handed him the package and said, Mr. Mohan Lal, please sign here. Mohan Lal took the package and signed it with a big M&L written on it. Just then, a woman's scolding voice was heard from inside the house. I am fed up with you! You are buying food again! You don't know anything else except eating every day. If you don't lose weight, one day you will crush me to death on the bed. Hearing this, Mr. Mohan Lal's face turned dark. This woman, If I can't eat what I want, I might as well die.